Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about your ex won't believe you've changed.
It takes a lot to change for the long term.
I wonder, my exes probably don't think I've changed. And I haven't. I still love cool things like Star Wars and He-Man.
And you still believe they're cool.
That's right. I still am that naive. I have my little He-Man figures up there today. I put some little the Masters of the Universe because of the new movie coming out. So I thought, it'd be cute if I put them up there for.
We got Max, Timmy, Turtle Man.
Turtle Man, that's right. You know them all. There's Beast Man and Man at Arms and Stratos and I don't even know who's up there. Triclops, He-Man himself,
Maybe a leprechaun.
Manny Faces, Ram Man,
blonde Lord Farquaad up there.
That's He-Man.
Oh, is that?
He's the main guy.
Well, anyways.
Yeah, one of my exes is probably watching this video like, nope, he hasn't changed.
Not one
he hasn't changed.
Not one bit.
He hasn't changed.
Now, many of you learn so much about yourself during a breakup. Many of you are introduced to our channel. You start learning about attachment styles. You're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I had more of an avoidant attachment style or an anxious attachment style. Or you start connecting the pieces from your childhood to your romantic relationships, and it's all making so much sense.
And that's the beauty in what we teach. Okay, and that is what I love about what we do here on the channel is when you're going through the breakup, it's one of the worst feelings you've ever had in your life. For many of you, it is the worst. And we try and go way beyond breakups here, teaching about mental health, dating, relationships, love, how to communicate, all the great qualities you need to have a healthy relationship. And when you start to understand those things, it doesn't matter if your ex comes back at some point because you are so happy with yourself and you truly get to a great place that ideally you're in a place where it's, I'm happy if they come back and we could turn this around. But if not, I feel like a new person and I love who I am. And you go out there and you're doing great with dating.
Oh, yeah. And a breakup can be a catalyst for personal growth for a lot of people.
I don't think there's ever a time where people are more motivated after a breakup.
Oh, yeah. And some people really change their lives. It could be like a moment of redirection. It could be a moment of completely rebuilding yourself, rebranding yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just for spite.
And listen, we're not mad about that.
That's fine. Do it for spite if you have to. Just do it for like, oh, I want them to regret it. That's fine. That's fine. Eventually, you'll do it because you're like, I want to do it for me. And that's the great place to be.
Exactly. And while you may have made some really big steps in your own personal growth, things that are just huge overall in your life, your ex might still be skeptical, and that's the reality of it. So that's really what this video is about, is that many times you might be learning so much about yourself and your ex might still not be fully trusting that you're in a place where you're open and willing to grow or that you're doing it genuinely.
Yes. And that's big because if they think that you're doing it to get them back, it is going to backfire fast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many times he said, and I told them I was going to do this and do that. And then they're like, but why? And they can sense if it's authentic. You have to do these changes for yourself. If they feel like it's to get them back, then it's kind of like they don't feel like they've been free this whole time. They feel like it's been a secret manipulation and now they're walking back into a trap or something.
And it's natural to want to tell your partner big things that are happening in your life, huge changes. If you started new hobbies or if you joined new social groups, you have that inclination to tell your support system, to tell the person closest to you. You have to remember that your ex, from the moment that they decided to end that relationship, they are no longer in that role. So while you may be really excited, this is a person you used to tell everything to. They used to ask about your day. They used to ask about what's been on your mind. This person is no longer in that role.
Yeah. Don't do it. I think about an example where the guy who's like, I got that book that you recommended to me about lifestyle changes and I wanted you to know I'm reading it. And you know what they're going to say? That's great. And I hope it helps you in your next relationship. I mean, how many times do you hear something similar?
Oh, yeah.
Don't reach out to tell them. It has to be authentic. If you reach out to tell them, you're going to regret it. And if you did that mistake already, let us know what happened in the comments.
Yeah. And you have to realize that they know a different version of you. So they know you based on patterns that they experienced from you in the relationship. And it's going to take a lot more than just words for them to really be convinced that you've changed. It's also something that you can sense. What I see happen often is maybe you do get another chance to speak with your ex soon after the breakup, and it can be this overflow of, oh my gosh, I realized all the things I did wrong in the relationship, and these were those things, and I'm going to therapy, and I'm fixing it. And in your mind, you create the story of, oh, if I just tell them all of that, then we're going to be on the same page.
No.
And it's, okay, now you've just caught up that some of the things that had been annoying them were things that you did, and you've admitted to that. That's like the first step.
Why didn't you stop that while we were together?
Right. Right. So a lot of times there can be that resentment that follows of, oh, now you're realizing it, but you didn't realize it when I was upset and I was telling you over and over again,
100 times,
or when I was crying. Yeah. So there can be a lot of feelings that come up from that. So you have to realize they know a different version of you, and it's not going to be something that you can just reverse just because of the insights that you're making.
That's right.
And there's another piece to this. You can recognize some of the mistakes you might have made in the relationship, but that's different from being able to empathize with how it felt for them. Understanding that you did something wrong is just the first step. It's kind of like if I were to step on Craig's toe and
Again.
and walk off.
That's happened.
It has happened. And walk off. It might take me a second to orient. Oh my God, I stepped on your toe. It will be another thing to say, oh my God, I stepped on your toe. I'm sorry. It's the next level to say, ouch, that probably hurt. Let me get you some ice.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
It was more like, I stepped on your toe.
That's true. My point here is that realizing some of the mistakes, awareness is the first step. It's not the last step. The first step means you have a journey ahead of you. Welcome. It's going to take time. And for your ex, you taking that first step of awareness, they're like, okay, you're starting to see it. They don't get the sense of you really understand what it's been like for me going through this relationship. And I know every relationship is different, but that's just a thing that I see.
Now, let me pause for a moment because I want to make something very clear.
Don't reach out.
You do not reach out to tell them this, right?
Right.
Because you can see the wheel spinning. Oh, so I show accountability and then I reach out and show
up
empathy.
to their door with a bag of ice. No.
It doesn't work like that. These are the kinds of conversations that happen eventually when you guys start spending some time together, that you have to show these changes, and you're not trying to like, hey, I've changed. That's not going to work. It doesn't work. It backfires and makes them angry.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be more like a natural progression where you're spending time together and they can see for themselves that you have changed, and they'll start to tell you,
Right.
I've noticed you have changed, and I'd want to give you some credit for that.
And I also want to be clear, that's also after they reach out, because at the moment, they are likely not in a place where they're receptive or open to hearing about how you've changed or to even see that. And that's really where it turns into just being mindful of the timing. When they reach out to you, they're essentially saying, hey, I'm open to seeing how you're doing now. I'm more receptive to really understanding where you're at, versus they're already going to have their idea of you from before that. You know, if they're in that breakup mindset, they're going to be thinking, oh, you know, that person's always going to be the way that they are. They're not going to be open to the fact that you could be a different person until they reach out.
That's right. They're not ready until they're ready. And you trying to push it to make them ready doesn't work like that.
And accountability, it takes sitting with someone's pain. And if someone's pain is saying, hey, get away from me, or hey, I don't want to talk to you, or hey, you know, I'm ending this relationship, we have to respect that. That's part of accountability. Accountability isn't just forcing an apology down someone's throat. It's being able to say, oh, I've hurt you and you need space. I'm going to respect that, even if it's uncomfortable for me. So we know that different breakup scenarios are different, but this could be helpful for many of you. Another thing to consider is that real change takes time. So sometimes we see an overenthusiasm when you start gaining awareness of some of the things.
It's like it's like you guys are like caterpillars, and you're like, I'm in the cocoon now. I'm different after day 3. No, the caterpillar has to be in the cocoon for a while, like weeks, before it slowly changes. Now, you guys are thinking 3 weeks. No, it doesn't quite work like that, because you're trying to repair things about yourself that you didn't realize you were doing. Maybe you were selfish, self-absorbed, very anxious. you were doing things that were controlling or manipulative. You know, that's what anxiety does to us. Not just you watching, but everybody. Anxiety makes us selfish. I think part of it is a biological function to keep us alive, right? But it's going to come out in your connections and how you treat other people.
Oh, yeah. And we used to think that for habit forming that it would take around 21 days. But now more research is showing it could take anywhere between 18 to 256 days. People are complicated. Habits are formed differently in different types of people. So,
well, and not only that, but a habit of like, you know, a simple habit might be easy to do as opposed to in real time when you and your ex are discussing a challenging thing and they pull away and now you have massive amounts of anxiety. Right? So it's very different than just a basic habit that you can, you know, I have to make sure that I don't know, wipe down the sink every night or something so bugs don't come, right? That's not very anxiety provoking.
Exactly. When we're dealing with deep patterns that are coming from our childhood, when we're triggered with deep wounds because of these patterns, those things take much longer. So think about it. A habit, it already takes time. It could take up to, you know, a year or more for some people to really develop a habit. And that's not necessarily even something that's tied to us emotionally. Think about these patterns with our relationships, with our key attachment figures. Those things run really, really deep. And a lot of times we have to be challenged after challenged after challenged for us to really be able to say, okay, I feel like I have a better grip on this emotional skill.
Yeah, it's being in a very emotional state. That's the challenge, is that you're having to put that into practice. It's not as simple as you think it's going to be, because it's going to be in a difficult moment that you have to continue to do those new changes.
Exactly. And I know many of you are thinking, well, how can I show them that I've changed? And we have other videos on this too. They need to be in a place where they're ready, whether they live down the street and it's more likely that you run into them at their grocery store, or whether they live on the other side of the planet. They will not see your change unless they are ready to see your change. You could be a completely different person. You could, you know, change so many different aspects of your life, but unless your ex is ready and willing to see those changes, they are not going to see it.
And it's your anxiety that's pushing you to want them to see it right now. That's the very thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the very thing that's wanting you to, but I want them to know. I need them to know. I need them to know I'm in therapy. Shouldn't I reach out to let them know that I'm in therapy? No. No. And if you're still asking you that at the end of this video, you better rewatch this another 20 times.
Yeah.
Because it's got to keep you ready for those moments when it's meant to happen. And it's not meant to happen until they're ready for it to happen. And anything that happens before then is often you pushing it and it doesn't go well. Right?
Yep. And that's part of my thought is with accountability. I know it's hard to have somebody out there that you loved, that you were so close to, have this view of who you were in that relationship that you might not longer identify with, but that's a part of it. You know, it's a part of being okay with other people having their narrative, their story of you, and becoming that person that's unrecognizable to them. So.
That's right. It's amazing the amount of work that we see people do when they're really committed to it. We have over 2,500 videos that you can watch. We have 2 channels. We have the Creative Healing course, the workbooks. They're phenomenal. You can get a coaching with us. We will help guide you along the way and try and keep you from making those mistakes and getting you to a place where you feel better about where you're supposed to go with this breakup and not make a mess of it because you get really anxious and scared. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. If you would like to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.